Steven, entertainment is good. While we shouldn't focus too much of our time and energy on being entertained, there's nothing wrong with a little sitting down in front of the old glowing device and streaming your favorite Catholic TV show, right? Well, an awful lot of secular entertainment can be questionable, be it suggestive TV content, inappropriate music lyrics, or themes, the scandalous themes out there. I'd like to have a serious conversation about serious Catholics enjoying entertainment that may not always line up nicely with the faith and morals we hold.
We're going to solve this in the next segment.
Here we go.
Okay. I'm going to use that blind superhero as an example.
Daredevil.
Because there's there's violence and there's sex and there's like things that are unsavory or sinful or whatever. But it's also like the main character is Catholic. It's got one of the best priests ever depicted on television. And we're doing this from the point of view of grown-ups. Like raising kids is a completely different question. A grown-up who's also a grown-up in the faith, how do you attack this, handle this? I think the number one question is it adding to me or subtracting from me? So even if it is depicting illicit sex or violence, that could be fine in a story if it's adding to me. If it's straight up lustful and is hurting me, then you walk away. And that is different for different people. And so the question you always ask, and I learned this as a teenager when I was trying to figure out ways to justify listening to music my mom didn't want me listening to, is like, is it adding to me or is it subtracting from me? If it's adding to me, even if it's distasteful or rough around the edges, go for it. And if it's subtracting from me, even if other people are down with it, like walk away. Like you don't need it in your life.
Yes, so we should be able to take the good, leave the bad behind. But is there some concern that just like immersing yourself in something like that is getting you in like underneath, like a little sneaky thing? So you're listening to music with themes of rage in it or something, and you can leave that part behind and appreciate the good music, but your brain is slowly like, simmering in this negativity that it affects you without you really knowing.
If you're a reflectful is a word now, person.
We're always making words.
You should notice that pretty soon, like if it's actually happening. I admit that it probably could happen. But you're also a grown-up who knows yourself or should know yourself pretty well. You should be able to catch it and notice what's going on.
My concern is like, I want to listen to hip-hop music. Not always great themes, we can say that.
Okay.
Am I saying that it's okay to take the good and leave the bad just to justify what I want? Because that wouldn't be good. Like, do I want to watch these movies and say it's okay just because I want to do it? And so I'm going to be like twisting things to make it okay for me, because that's something we have to reflect on too. That's like human nature to try and do that, right?
Yes. I don't know what you want me to say. No, and honestly, my thing goes back down to just being honest with yourself. If you are intentionally lying to yourself, then I can't help you. But if you're being honest to yourself while asking these questions, then you will make good answers. It's a conscience thing more than it's a delineated line thing.
Raising kids, though, nowadays, I mean, you go into anywhere, and kids are staring at a screen, and you got to be like, do you even know? Like, I hear, like, you log on to YouTube/kids, and it's great, everything's fine, but it's really not okay.
Yeah.
And parents have got to at least check into that first. I think we, for our generation, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we got into stuff a little bit earlier than we should have. Movies that maybe were a little too violent for our age.
My first radar movie was The Passion of the Christ, and I was 16, so
Steve.
Yeah.
Good for you, Steve.
No.
That's good. Steve is a good boy, you guys.
I was a sheltered child. That's more the answer.